I'm Sandy Walden, your grief coach from Serenity. If you're joining me, please say hello. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have the volume on. So, I'm Sandy Walden from Serenity, your master grief coach. If you're joining me, pop in, say hello. I'd really like your thoughts and your experiences. If you're watching this on replay, feel free, just type in replay and again, share your comments. Normally, when I come on, I'm talking to the people who are in the midst of grief. But today I've been reading a lot of messages from people who have been on the receiving end of some really painful comments or gestures, people who are feeling unloved and unsupported. And it made me think back to some of my own experiences. The truth is, I think most often, these are my thoughts, I think most often when someone says something hurtful, it's probably not intentional. They don't know. They don't understand. They don't know what we're thinking, what we're feeling. They don't know how to speak to us. So today I'd like to talk to those who are supporting someone they care about, who's grieving. This is not going to be an exhaustive live, of course, because it's very impromptu, but here are a few things that I know and that I encourage you to remember. Grief doesn't end on a timetable. Our job gives us off 3 days or maybe a few weeks, but grief does not begin and end on the calendar. Grief for each and every person is individual. It is as unique as the relationship, and that's all right. Say their name. Say it again and again and again. Even though it's been more than 9 years since my son died, I was talking with somebody today and she brought up my son and a lovely memory. And guess what? It brought some tears. That's okay. He's in my mind and in my heart every day. So when you say the name of the one they're missing, they're thinking about, and if they tear up or they cry, it's not because you reminded them that the one they love has died. They're aware. They know 24/7. But to hear their name is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It reminds us that other people care about that person. There's a saying that something along the lines of, to say a man's name means he never dies. You're keeping them alive. You're reminding the person that you're supporting that you're remembering both of them. Bring the good tissues. Show up. So often people will show up when they first hear about the death and for the funeral, and even maybe a few days after that. And that's wonderful. Please continue to do that. But I also encourage you to write a note, send a text, make a phone call. Days, weeks, months, years later. It matters more than I can tell you. Show up. Show up. I know we don't know what to say, and that's okay too. Hi, Kathy. Something that's really completely reasonable. I remember people coming to me and saying, I don't know what to say, but I want you to know I care. Those are the people, those are the moments that I hold dearest in my heart and that I remember. I have a friend, and I still laugh about it to this day, that would send me an email or a text or would make a phone call almost every single day. And she would say, Reiki Master, you need to do this. First of all, it always tickles me that she still addresses me as Reiki Master, even after all these years. But she would say, you have to do this. So often she would be wrong. She might say, you need to have time on your own. And maybe I'd been on my own and it was too much. Or she might say, you need to have time with friends. And I couldn't do that. But what I heard every time she reached out was not so much the words that she said, was the feeling she expressed. Whether the words were on target or not, what she was really saying was, I love you and I care about you. So if you care about someone who's grieving, remind them that they matter. They might be upset, they might get angry. Tomorrow, the words that made them angry today might bring them peace. Be patient. Be patient. That fog of grief will lift, but it takes time. Listen to the one you love. They may have to tell you their story again and again and again. That's how processing happens. As you sit with them, as you share that warm cup of tea, and you let them share their heart, you're helping them to release layers of pain. That's when the healing begins. We often say, please let me know what I can do for you. And it's a comment made out of love and good intentions. I remember my own deepest grief. I couldn't have told you what I needed. But holy cats, I was so grateful for somebody who brought over a meal because our surviving sons were there from out of town. I did not have the wherewithal to go shopping and make the meals. I didn't eat myself for almost a week. It just hadn't occurred to me that someone else might be hungry. So when you tell someone, let me know what I can do for you, I encourage you to make an offer. You might want to say, I'm running to the grocery store. Can I pick up a sandwich for you? A takeout meal? Do you have bread? Do you have milk? Do you have eggs? You might want to say, I'm going for a walk. Would you like to go with me? You might suggest, I know you have a pet. Can I take them for a walk, or how can I help them? If they have children, you might want to offer to take the kids out for a while, perhaps to the park. Bring them some coloring books, depending on what their ages are. What I'm saying, what I'm suggesting is make an offer of something specific. They may not need it, but they might. And sometimes it prompts them to remember what they do need. As I said, there's an awful lot of things that we can talk about, and I really hope that you add your comments and your thoughts. If you're grieving, beautiful. Kathy says, I try to do for others what I wanted and needing for myself. A card just to say hi. You're in my thoughts and prayers. Yes, Kathy, yes, yes, yes. I agree completely. Do you know every now and then, out of the blue, somebody will drop me a note like that? Even though it's been this many years, it fills my heart. Remember that our family and friends, neighbors, often don't know what to do. So as the griever, I encourage you to try to be patient with them as well. And I know it's hard, and I'm not trying to give you another chore. Ask them to refer to a grief specialist. Ask them to reach out and find some grief books or join some grief groups. Join my group. I'll tell you what, give you some support. When you're grieving, you're doing the best you can. If you're supporting someone who's grieving, please know they are going to grieve as long as they need to. And it's not going to look like anybody else's template. And that's all right. Know that we grieve because we love. As we heal and grieve, we continue to feel that love. So please be patient. Please be patient. If someone you love has lost someone, please remember, reach out to them. Reach out to them. Just tell them I love you. I don't know what to say, but I care about you. It'll be more than you know. It still means so much to me. Hi, Susie. Hi, Jason. Thank you for joining me. Please feel free to leave your comments. When we're grieving, it's difficult to say the very least, but we know what those hurtful comments are. Let's help others so that they can support us, and we'll all do better. I'm going to close now. This was not thought out at all. I just wanted to have a few words with you. If you'd like to talk more, please send me a private message. I'm happy to connect with you at any time. I'm Sandy Walden from Serenity. I wish you a day of peace and joy and connection. That's right, Kathy. Be available. Just be there. Thank you for being here. I send you my love. Namaste.